I've got 1 hour to kill. And what I want to do is kill the idea that this TikTok ban makes any sense at all. So I'm going to give people a chance to show up. But tonight we're talking about the TikTok ban, Biden versus Trump, because they are in two different places. And I got to tell you, I think one of them's dead wrong. I will get a little theme music going because that's how I like to run a show. Got to have the right feel for this. And let me see, I got to get my comments right. All right. Oh, Dano, what's going on, man? Pop up live. Glad to see you were able to join me. Aren't you supposed to be on a flight pretty soon, buddy? So, Steve, I know you're coming back in just a sec. I got 1 hour. So, just let me know when you get back because I want to talk about this crazy TikTok ban and what to me doesn't make any sense. I mean, when you look at this, if you know, bring everybody up to speed real fast. TikTok legislation passed the Senate saying that TikTok needs to be banned. And they've got a year to either sell to a US company or get shut down. I think this is one of the silliest things I've seen in a long time. I mean, what's the go like what are we hoping to accomplish? Why is TikTok such a threat to America? They haven't really explained it, and if you look at it, this doesn't make any sense at all. But that's what we'll talk about. Now, quick reminder, TikTok is owned by ByteDance. ByteDance is a Chinese streaming company. So there's all this concern that, oh my gosh, a Chinese company owns this and they've got all this data. Oh, one who cares. Hey, how you doing? Welcome back. Glad to see you signed up. This is a power hour. I've only got an hour, but we're going to be talking TikTok because when I'm looking at the positions here, Biden is basically pro-ban and Trump is anti-ban. I kind of agree with Trump on this. I don't understand why we are so excited about banning TikTok. Doesn't make any sense. And if you look at what people are saying are the reasons why, well, none of it adds up. I mean, let's think about this for just a second. If TikTok is really this threat that they're making it out to be, here's my question. Why is TikTok a threat when Facebook and YouTube and WhatsApp and Instagram aren't a threat? It doesn't add up. Now, if what you're saying is, hey, TikTok can share your information with China, well, okay. People don't seem to realize, here's a little known fact. If you look at the apps you have on your phone, each and every app has its own end user agreement, its own separate set of facts that it collects. When you download a new app, you get that little message, hey, do you agree to our terms of service? And I'll click on it. Okay, we've got AK. Hey, welcome, AK. AK is saying, I can tell you something. Okay. What have you got, AK? Let me know what you got, because I'm curious to hear it. But while you're doing that, I'll point out, I get those terms of service. A lot of times I just click on it because I don't feel like reading through all the fine print. Sometimes it'll say something like, do you agree to give me access? Oh, just subscribe. Oh, yeah, thank you. You know what, AK? Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for reminding me to tell people. If you like what you're hearing, click like, click subscribe, click the notification bell, because I'm starting to like these pop-up lives. I don't have to plan them. I can just kind of do them when I've got the time. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. Oh shoot, we've got Leonard McDougall coming in from Scotland. Hey, thank you for signing in, Leonard McDougall. Glad to have you here. Um, I'm a star seed. You're gonna have to tell me what a star seed is. I'm not hip to all the new lingo. I'm an old fart. So if it's not old school lingo, then I might get lost on it. But coming back to TikTok, all the apps on your phone have end user agreements, and if you don't read them, you've got no clue what you're signing up for. Sometimes you'll see them say, "Can I have access to your contacts, to your photos, to your camera?" Usually I'll click no, but I'll be honest. I've had times where I'm on an app and I'll just click through things real fast because I'm in a hurry, don't really pay attention to it. So tons of the apps on your phone already have a lot of your personal information. I mean, when you use Uber and it can tell you where the car is that's coming to get you, where you are, where you're going, and how long it's going to take, there's a lot of your personal information that's publicly available. It's not only Uber that's got that, that's stuff that's stored on your phone. A phone which, well, if you got an Apple phone or a Lenovo, your phone was made in China. So I don't get how I'm supposed to understand that TikTok is collecting information on me that all the other apps aren't collecting on me. And if the idea is, well, they can give it to China, well, a lot of the other companies can too. When you sign up and you sign those terms of service, a lot of those companies are able to sell your information and you clicked yes and gave them free license to. So, oh, let me see. Okay, wait. A star seed means you died and came back to, so you died in a hospital, okay. Died in a hospital 7 years ago, came back. I am curious to get that story. If you want to share some of that in the comments, feel free. We may be able to probe into it, but just for the sake of this, I'll keep going through some of what I want to touch base on about TikTok. Now, I will admit that when Trump is saying he's pro TikTok, it's a little bit awkward because Trump owns a social media platform. So he's kind of got a bit of a conflict of interest. If I was in Trump's shoes, I wouldn't make a public statement about it because I wouldn't want to be seen as tampering or interfering and, trying to plus up my own company. But I got to say, I agree. Banning TikTok seems like a waste. Now, we talk about the whole notion of spying on America, but let's think about that for a second. What is TikTok? It's a social media platform. People are going on it to share all the information about their life with people to get likes and views and clicks and attention. That's the whole point of social media platforms. So if you're saying, hey, they can spy on me, they don't have to. I post on TikTok. I'll post vacation pics. I'll post what I'm cooking for dinner. I'll post whatever I think is going to get me some likes because that's what's fun. And so are all the other people around me. You don't really have to sneak around to get my personal information. It's publicly available. And oh, by the way, if we're really talking about public information, I'll let you in on something that you might not realize, but it's the truth. If I want people's public information, I'm not going to social media. I got better tools. I worked for a company, this is maybe 10 years ago. We were going to do a direct marketing program, and we had a vendor come in to talk to us about how we could identify people who bought certain products so we could market to them other products. I was amazed at what they were able to do. They were able to say, look, you tell us the products people are buying that you want to partner with. We can give you names, addresses, ages. We can give you all the details of exactly who you want to market to. And I said, wow, how do you get all this information on people? They're like, credit cards. They buy stuff with their credit card. You got their credit card information. The retailer collects that information. If somebody wants to spy on you, they don't need TikTok. They can use your phone. They can use your purchase records. There are like 15 million ways somebody could spy on you if they really wanted to. But the other part about that is, why the heck is somebody? Why would China want to spy on me? I mean, sure, I like to think I'm building a platform, but I don't have any secrets. I don't have any secrets I know about. So this whole notion of being spied upon, it just does not add up. You keep looking at it and you keep trying to roll it around. You're like, well, what are we doing here? Now, the other part that I saw was this argument about messaging. Hey, if TikTok is on your phone, they can send you messages. They can use their algorithm to target you with messages that try to influence the election. Um, we got GGEZ came in with oh, hang on. We got Donna Frank. Welcome, Donna. And GGEZ, I live in Germany. Can you help me earn money somehow? Yeah, start a YouTube channel and grow it, and it'll start to pay for itself. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm assuming you can get a job out in Germany. If not, well, we would have to dig into that, but that's a conversation for another time. Phones listen to everything. Yeah, I mean, let's think about messaging and targeted messaging. You ever go to Facebook, look up a random fact, and the next thing you know, you're just getting tons of ads about that fact? Okay, that was targeted. That's AI, and that's used all over the place. If you're basically saying TikTok will use AI to look at what you're interested in and to feed you more things that might appeal to you, okay, that's not a big secret. Everybody's doing that, not just TikTok. And guess what? If you're feeding me stuff that I like, I'm going to pay attention. If you're feeding me stuff that I don't like, I'm going to ignore it. TikTok's not the only social media platform that I use. If TikTok was giving me nothing but junk, I'd go to Facebook. I'd go to Instagram. I would do something else. So this spying on us notion, again, doesn't make sense. The subliminal messaging doesn't really make sense. But even with the subliminal messaging, I mean, guess what? Do you watch the news? If you watch Fox, MSNBC, CBS, CNN, they're feeding you messages that are designed to try to get you to vote a certain way. Heck, if I'm talking to my friends about the election, I'm feeding them information that's designed to get them to vote a certain way. And oh, guess what? Biden and Trump are on the campaign trail feeding you information that's designed to try to get you to vote a certain way. So it still doesn't make sense. Like, why would you need to ban TikTok because you're worried about the messaging they're going to present when everybody else is presenting the same kinds of messages? I mean, I got to tell you, if I was, let's say for hypothetical, that TikTok was able to effectively convert people to vote for one candidate or another. If I was a candidate and I knew that, I wouldn't ban TikTok. I'd hire TikTok. Like, guess what? I want you to work for me, because if you're that good at influencing people to vote, I need to get all the energy you can behind me and my campaign. Why wouldn't they? And let's face it, both candidates have media engines that are designed to try to convert voters to their side. So if TikTok was just one more marble in that whole game, I don't see the problem with that. I'll tell you though what I think is going on with TikTok, and it's interesting. Biggest social media platforms out there: Facebook, well, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, TikTok. Now, YouTube is owned by Google. All those others are owned by Meta/Facebook. Meta, kind of silly. TikTok is the only one that's owned by a Chinese company. Now, what does that mean? Well, in the US, we don't have as much control over TikTok. We can't throw them to the wolves the way we might want to. Remember, Facebook shared some information, public information, that this Cambridge Analytica scandal. Facebook ended up paying out like $6 billion when they got sued, for they paid the government, they had to pay this huge lawsuit. Can't do that with TikTok. And I think part of the problem is, hey, we don't have as much control over TikTok. We can't whip them into shape when we want to. I think that's a big part of the problem, and that's why they're trying to manipulate this. It has nothing to do with security because the security angle doesn't make sense, but it does have a lot to do with control. Facebook is you only use WhatsApp. Facebook is a killer. A killer in what sense? I mean, Facebook, let's face it, all of your personal information is available on Facebook. And unless you have your settings adjusted so that it's masked, people can go on Facebook, they can look you up, they can see when your birthday is, how old you are, where you live, where you are that day, if you've got the information about that available. They can see if you're single, if you're dating, they can see if you've got kids. Any information they want to get on you, it's available on Facebook. All you got to do is click on it. So a lot of that doesn't add up. But what does add up is, hey, we've got US dollars that are going to a Chinese company, and we want to. AK is going down an interesting path. So let's kind of separate some things because there's there's stuff that's going on in Facebook in terms of information sharing and lifestyle, and sure, not so much going into all of that right now. This is more about TikTok and the ban as opposed to kind of social media and some of the pros and cons and dark corners that social media can take people to. Now, so coming back to TikTok, it's not going to get banned in the next 12 months. Supposed to, but that's assuming that they just say, okay, you filed a motion and we're just going to accept it. They're going to take this to court. And this is going to drag out for years. And the funny thing is that all of this media attention on TikTok is going to do one thing in particular. It's going to drive up interest in TikTok. People are going to be looking at it all the time. Might end up with TikTok being able to maintain ownership of their company. We don't know. But it's kind of silly to believe that, this lawsuit is really going to mean anything. Let's face it. If Biden loses the election, well, Trump is not pro a ban. And this lawsuit will not end in the next 12 months. So for all we know, this is just political grandstanding. Might be political grandstanding. And, if this is a big enough issue for you, well, guess what? You got some clear choices. Yeah, I agree. It is all about the money. It's all about dollars are leaving the US and they're going to China. There's one big platform that's not US owned and that's not US controlled. And that's what really this is about. If you look at bans for TikTok, take a guess at how many countries in the world have banned TikTok. Don't have to spend too much time on it, I'll tell you. Only one country in the world has actually banned TikTok, and that's India. But the story behind why India banned TikTok is kind of funny. All right. Look at them on a map. You got India, you got China. They actually have a border. They share a border. Now, this was back in 2020. Basically, there was a skirmish between India and China. And China kind of won the skirmish. I mean, China, 20 soldiers from India died and 4 soldiers from China died. Now, what India did after that was they said, you know what? We're banning TikTok. They didn't just ban TikTok, they banned all Chinese apps. Now they said, hey, you're a national security risk. We are banning all of this nonsense. And India was the second biggest user of TikTok at the time. So they banned it and they called it national security, but it wasn't really national security. They were just saying, you know what? If you can't keep your soldiers in check, we know what we do. We'll hit you in the pocket. We're going to hit you where it hurts. we're taking a whole lot of revenue away, and let's see if you keep acting crazy. And the funny thing is that when TikTok lost India, YouTube came in with YouTube Shorts. Does North Korea have TikTok? That's a good question. I want to look that up. But I don't know if North Korea, banning it versus, well, it's one thing to have banned it. It's another thing to have never had it. So, but okay, I got to take a quick little peek because I want to know. I would be stunned if North Korea had TikTok. Kim Jong-un. Does North Korea have, yeah. It's very strictly controlled, and when we look, internet access is, oh, wow. Internet access is not generally available in North Korea. Wow. I didn't know that. I knew North Korea's got a very tight rein on everything because they want to tell you what the truth is and they don't want you to be able to look it up yourself. So to the question, does North Korea have TikTok? No, because it looks like a lot of North Korea doesn't have access to the internet at all. That's that's okay. At some point I'll drill into that a little more. Yeah. So they got bigger issues than TikTok. They don't have access to information. Yeah, to Carrie. Yeah, okay. Let me. I'm going to just call you Carrie because I want to stay clean for the YouTube filter. To Carrie's point, yeah, no free thought. They are controlling what you see and what you think. Have I seen the videos of North Korea's computer labs? It's a good watch. I've seen the videos where they've got, like, it's kind of like those work camps. They got a ton of military students, and they got computer labs, and they are being taught. A lot of them are being taught a lot of hacking tricks, so that they can run those nation attacks on their enemies, everybody. But you're right. I've seen a lot of their stuff, and there are some really interesting clips on what's going on in North Korea. There were also some interesting clips on some of the hacking attacks that they've perpetrated on America and others. I didn't realize some of the things that were happening were North Korea basically kind of just playing around and seeing what they could get away with. So yeah, India banned TikTok, and part of what TikTok saw was they just gave India a huge opportunity to replace them with YouTube and others, and the shorts. So nobody is typing or clicking. Oh, okay. So let me see. Let me go back. So these computer labs don't work. It's a computer with a Google picture, and the whole lab is silent. Nobody's typing or clicking. Okay, so I haven't seen those. I've seen the, so again, I saw the computer labs where they were military bases. And all of the people who were in those labs, they had on, their military uniforms, and they were busy at work. It was not a fun looking place. It looked like those guys were in sort of a labor camp. They were locked into their screens. They weren't moving. They weren't thinking. It was just type, 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 type. It felt like it felt like a sweatshop. But that was, I don't remember the name of the video. It was something about a hacking thing, something different about hacking. So more to come on that. But I am kind of curious as we're going through this. Who sees the point of the TikTok ban? Because I really don't. And it's easy to kind of say, hey, this is a national security risk, because that sounds big and that sounds scary. But at some point, you need to kind of substantiate what the national security risk is. Let's just say, for example, make this hypothetical, that there's a problem with TikTok, that if you use TikTok at work in a government agency, they'll spy on you somehow. Okay. So you explain to your employees, don't use TikTok at work. Why is that so hard to do? The notion that TikTok is somehow accessing your phone and your speaker without your knowledge or permission when you're in a federal office, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, anything that your TikTok app can do, your phone's already doing. And let's face it, if you, depending upon the apps that you have running, your phone could be doing a whole lot of stuff that you're just not paying attention to. So I don't see why TikTok is so special. Now, AK is coming back. Okay, AK, I gotta admit, I think you're just trolling. Because now you're talking about the moon. You're going into some interesting places here. So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna see where you go with some of your comments. But yeah, yeah. We're trying to focus on TikTok here, not the moon and all this weird stuff that's going on Facebook. So let's kind of respect the platform and not run off. And before I always forget, click like, click subscribe, click the notification bell, because I will try. I'm going to be spending a lot more time doing clips like this. But here's one of the issues, because this isn't just TikTok. This is about Biden versus Trump versus TikTok. I don't understand why Biden would position himself as being in favor of a TikTok ban. If the name of the game is to get votes, well, explain to me how banning TikTok is going to get you votes. If you ban TikTok, who do you win? Is he hoping to go after conservatives who think that TikTok is a scary place where the Chinese are grabbing secrets about us? I don't think that's the mindset of conservatives. Liberals definitely don't want TikTok banned because they're on it posting about their cats and their new hair color and whatever the heck else is going on in their life. I mean, it's the place to advertise your lifestyle. So why the heck would you want it to be banned? Let me see. Okay, AK came back because I want to tell you the truth, brother. Sorry, I'll go if you want. So, look, I think we're all grown-ups here, so I'm not going to tell you to go or stay. It's really just about the focus. I mean, if you want to talk about moon landings and all that stuff, that's not what we're doing today. If you've got thoughts on Biden, Trump, the election, the TikTok ban, how that impacts it, bring your comments. But try to keep it focused, because going way out of bounds with crazy stuff, that just becomes a distraction. Can I explain my channel? Crispy Satire 03. Okay. Can I explain my channel name? Sure, I can. I'll do that quick. That's actually a good question, since my channel's migrated. So my name's Gene. I go by the Last Good Man in Jersey. I've been streaming regularly for about a year. My channel started with this idea. Basically, if you look at a corner of social media, you'll see that there's like a gender war going on, where you got single men and single women, and they can't seem to come together and have a conversation about what's going on. So everybody just blames everybody else for why they're single. One of the things that you get is the men's position is generally women aren't loyal. The women's position is generally there are no good men. So if you kind of take it from that lens, and I'm not saying I agree with either of those positions, those are the filters that everything seems to come through. Well, I made my name kind of as a comedy on this notion that there are no good men. Oh, I can't find any good men. I thought, okay, well, if you're saying there are no good men, and I feel like I'm a good man, I must be the last good man in Jersey. So I used that as a name. I threw it out there, and I started making content about kind of dating. I spend a lot of time talking about the opportunities for guys in the Philippines if they're looking for wives. I encourage guys to, Oh, a fence? No, not a fence sitter. My name is not really built on my Biden versus Trump political commentary. It's built on kind of the passport, traveling to the Philippines, and that whole thing. It's just that over time my channel has migrated. So yeah, that's it. I'm the last good man in Jersey. Definitely not a fence sitter. Don't encourage that. I encourage people to vote. And one of the guys in the channel, if Steve, who's Dano Junkyard Dog, if he's still in here, um, he is actually a guy who is getting married to a woman who he met in the Philippines. He's got an interesting backstory. I won't go into it now, but it just kind of builds on the idea of where my channel was and where it is now. But coming back to Biden versus Trump and this whole TikTok ban, I don't see the advantage to Biden's position at all, because I don't know how he's going to gain any voters by saying that TikTok should be banned. All you can do is lose voters with that. Now, I don't know that anybody's really going to cast a vote for Trump instead of Biden because of the TikTok ban, but if the goal was to encourage more people to vote for you, then this move doesn't make any sense. The reality is that if TikTok went away tomorrow, there'd be minimal impact of this on America. Sure, you don't have the TikTok platform, but you still got Facebook, you still got YouTube, you still got Instagram, you still got WhatsApp, and you're going to have whatever the next platform is that emerges that's ready to take TikTok's place the second they get shut down. So there's no real impact, which is why I don't think this is really going to impact people's votes. If you said you were taking social media away entirely, sure, that would tick some people off, but nobody's crazy enough to do that. Now, Trump's position makes a lot more sense, but admittedly, Trump, he switched his position because his original position was ban TikTok, but I think that he sat down with his analysts and they sort of said, you know what? From a voter perspective, we don't want to be on the wrong side of this. Saying to ban it does not help you because it just alienates some people. But if Biden is saying to ban it and you're saying you're for it, well, guess what? You're in a favorable position in some people's minds. Is that going to be enough to get votes? I don't know if it's going to get you any votes, but it's certainly not going to cost you any votes. And that's the more important thing with this whole TikTok ban. Let me come back to where we are here. Okay, so AK, it's not about moon landings. It's why it's here later. Try something. Look into a mirror with no. Okay, AK, you're just troll. Okay, you're like off on some weird tangents. Okay, I'm just gonna have to let your comments go. As far as crispy, doesn't that apply to both sides? Also, I agree. The ones who will fill the power vacuum will cause trouble. Yeah, that's one of the. Well, doesn't that apply to both sides, alienating people? I don't know. See, here's the thing. I don't think anybody has an issue with TikTok being here. I do think people have an issue with losing TikTok. I mean, there is a small group of content creators who are actually making money on TikTok. For the most part, it's a very profitable model. TikTok has tons of people posting comment and they're not making a dime. They're just posting comment for the fun of it. I'm one of them. I post comments on TikTok all the time. I am not monetized on TikTok. But TikTok runs ads. They use that content, gives them a reason to promote all sorts of products, and that's how they make their money. They also charge a percent if you buy like those little TikTok tokens to pay as tips to content creators. They take a percentage out of that. So TikTok's making money hand over fist. Some content creators are making money on TikTok. And yeah, if I'm one of them, this does become a voting issue for me because you're talking about taking money out of my pocket. If you do that, if I have to vote for one candidate or another, one candidate's going to help me keep a revenue stream, the other candidate's going to cost me a revenue stream. It's easy for me to figure out who I'm voting for in that situation. I'm voting for the guy who says he's pro TikTok. But there's a very small percent of content creators who are making money, and an even smaller percent of them who are making anything significant. I mean, most people make nothing, some people make peanuts. A few small creators make out like bandits. The real thing to note is the way they make money on TikTok is if you're one of those top tier, like a Ronaldo, Kim Kardashian, say what you want about them, they have a lot of followers, and they make tons of money to promote products on their platform. You get to that level, TikTok is making you multi-million dollars per year, but not many people get there. Now, if you're saying you're pro TikTok, well, okay. It's really not that you're pro TikTok that's winning you votes. It's the fact that the other guy is anti TikTok that could win you votes. If they were both pro TikTok, or if Trump was pro TikTok and Biden was middle of the road, I don't think it matters. No, we are not talking about aliens. Unless you're going down yeah. If you're talking immigration, that's one thing, but no. I don't even believe in aliens, so I'll tell you that. The whole space aliens thing, no, we're not going down that route. So part of what we're going to have to do is figure out how long it's going to take for ByteDance to come back and say we're challenging this case. And then we've got to look at who's going to win the election. Because let's face it, Trump wins the election, this whole thing goes kapoof. Trump loses the election, maybe this thing proceeds, but even if it does proceed, what I've heard is the court turnaround time on this case, given that ByteDance is a multi-billion-dollar company and they've got a vested interest in not giving this up. They've said they're going to fight it. It could take 5 years before this thing reaches a decision. So Biden's not even in office when this happens. And whoever is in office by that point might have a whole different position on it, which means that this is an entire waste of time. It's not going to get banned. It's not going to get resolved. And you have to ask the question, why are you making this move right now when it doesn't really seem like it can help you in any kind of way? So that's let me see. So Rev King is here. And is AK still in here? Okay, AK's out. I can't see the audience. And by the way, yeah, so click like, click subscribe, and click the notification bell so that when the pop-up lives come on, you'll see them, because I'm definitely going to try to use this format more. It just gives a lot more flexibility. So yeah, let's think about how weird it is to want to ban a Chinese app when one of the biggest producers of phones is, when Apple phones are made in China, Lenovo phones are made in China. If we look at all of they're not owned by ByteDance, they're not owned by Chinese companies, but the whole notion that my Chinese phone shouldn't have a Chinese app on it because somehow the app can feed them information that the phone can't. When we all know that phones are feeding information all the time, it just doesn't add up. It forces the question, what are we trying to do here? This is either about the taxes that potentially aren't being collected, or the inability to hold their feet to the fire with a lawsuit, or it's just political grandstanding. I can't say which one it is. I mean, I think it's more about just not having control of the dollars. And if that's the case, then I say, why don't we let this go? Because it's a big fat waste of time. Given who we have in here, I will pivot. So I wasn't going to talk about this whole aliens thing, but Rev King, since there are two people in the room and one of them's you, so fine. Abducted by aliens, you weren't abducted by aliens in 2009. There are no aliens. Aliens do not exist. Drake, hey, what's going on, Drake? Welcome back, man. We've been talking about TikTok. Drake, what do you think about this whole TikTok ban? You think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Rev King is over here talking about being abducted by aliens. So I don't know what Rev King's doing today, but they're using the good stuff because I don't believe in this whole. I'll tell you. There's an idea. Yeah. Okay. So Drake doesn't have TikTok. Do you have any social? Are you one of these? Well, you've clearly got YouTube. Is it just TikTok, or do you minimize how many social media platforms that you use at all? And to Rev King and their whole alien thing, here's what I'll say. Look up this idea called the Fermion Principle. It explains why this whole idea of aliens is baloney. The moral of the story is people look at what? Oh goodness! You're saying you're the real Drake? You're not the real Drake. No, wait, yeah, okay. So everybody's troll. Okay, hey, we got the troll. This is the trolling hour. I can roll with that. That's cool. Because Drake doesn't have time to come hang out on TikTok with live streams. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I bet Drake's got a concert today. I'm just gonna look up Drake's concert schedule. Drake concert schedule. Let me see. What's today? Today is April the 25th. February. I gotta scroll down. Where is Drake right now? Oh man, I don't want to subscribe to this. This is so annoying. I just want to get down to. Okay, if you are Drake, then tell me where you are. Oh no, my audio. Oh shoot. My audio cut out. Let me see. Okay. Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, you were in. Oh wait, CJ Free. So yeah, I mean that. To that whole alien thing. Look up the Fermion Principle, because here's the thing. A lot of people look at space the wrong way. They look at space and they say, look at all these stars. Look at how much opportunity there is for aliens. There's got to be some life out there, and that's the wrong way to look at it. You have to look at it another way, which is, 14 billion years ago, Big Bang. 4 billion years ago, the sun was formed. If you look at the amount of time it takes to go from one end of the galaxy to the other, cover the whole thing, and that's only going like 1/10 the speed of light. It's like 100,000 years. Now, sure, that's a lot. 100,000 years, that's a lot of time. And if you add in the time it takes to populate all the planets, call it 1,000,000 years. Heck, call it 10 million years. Doesn't really matter. 10 million years compared to the 4 billion years that the sun has been here, it's like that. Literally, it takes that long to populate the entire galaxy. So if there were aliens, we wouldn't be looking for them. We'd be looking for planets that didn't have aliens on them. They'd be everywhere. And when you look out and you don't see anything, and you should be seeing everywhere something, either they're hiding from us or they don't exist. Why would they be hiding from us? They got the superior technology. Doesn't make sense. Okay, I will not believe that you were abducted by aliens. You can believe it, but no, just not like, no. Show me a selfie, and I'll believe you. Till then, I'm standing on my position. Fermion Principle. So yeah, I don't know. If anybody thinks that aliens aren't, of course Steve is gonna. That's a traditional Steve comment. And to some of the people who were on earlier, yeah, Dano Junkyard Dog is Steve. Steve's about to get married. To a question I was asked earlier about kind of what I'm doing with the travel, with my travel and passport bro, and encouraging guys to visit the Philippines. Steve is marrying a lovely Filipina, and I'm excited for him. And that was part of the idea of what my channel started as, was just encouraging guys to explore their options. Um, oh man, and Steve's a dirty old dog, and I'm not mad at him for it because he's got a beautiful young fiance, and they're getting married in a couple of weeks. So uh, check out his channel. He will be live streaming his wedding. They're going to get married in Hong Kong. More to come on that. But here's my question: does anybody want to see? Yeah, that's Steve. I'll leave Steve's comments to the comment section. Does anybody actually want to see TikTok get banned? I can't imagine anybody wants this, like regular people. Not talking politicians who've got an agenda and are looking for a platform to try to convert voters on. I'm just talking regular people. Does anybody in the chat want to see TikTok banned? I know I don't. I'm assuming nobody here does either. And well, I don't know. I just want to see if anybody. I'll be stunned if anybody says yes. But if you go back through some of the comments, Steve, you'll see we got all kinds of interesting things here. We got alien abductees. We got all sorts of stuff going on, and I'm just trying to keep everybody grounded. Pardon the pun, so that we don't go off on these space age tangents. Yeah, so I don't see anybody saying they want to see TikTok get banned. And why would that? I mean, why would I want to lose one of my social media platforms? Why would I want to lose an outlet? I happen to like looking at videos of people dancing and showing me some crazy move that I wouldn't expect. Some little 2-year-old kid who's way smarter than I would have ever thought, and is explaining to their parents like how they need to think about life. Puppies, kittens, people cooking dinner, new dessert ideas. I don't even cook that much, but I am fascinated by some of the cooking stuff I see on TikTok. Don't ask me why, it's just interesting. Good content creators know how to package something up so that even if you're not going to do it, you still want to watch it. It's that whole voyeuristic aspect of getting to sneak a peek at somebody else's life. That's fun. I don't want to lose that. Yeah, Steve is keeping it focused. He's keeping it focused on the election to an extent. But haven't run quite an hour, but I am close. So I am going to close by just saying this TikTok ban is silly. It's not going to accomplish anything if our goal is privacy, because our phones and the other apps on our phones make us just as vulnerable as TikTok does. And if anything, if TikTok goes away and a new platform emerges, it could be worse. And there's also no real merit to the notion that somehow TikTok is going to be able to warp the minds of Americans through their algorithm. Because for the most part, the algorithms give you things that you seem to like. If you keep clicking on a certain topic, you're going to keep getting more of that topic. That's just the way the algorithms work. If I don't want to watch political ads, I'm not going to. If all your platform does is feed me political ads, I'll stop using it. It's simple. You can't force that on people. They've got too many options. So I don't expect to see this really lead to a TikTok ban. I also don't expect this to really have any impact on TikTok's use. Not anytime soon. But Biden knows that, and Trump knows that. So you got to ask the question, why are you even wasting the time doing this when you know it can't go anywhere? That's my thought. Let me know if you disagree in the comment section. It's the Last Good Man in Jersey signing out.